ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले ब्रह्मोपगतामह्यं ददाति सपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपीत गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वत्सवानुस्ते देवी प्रणमामि हरे प्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च उत्तरं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
नमः विष्णुपदाय
ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य स्थारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतां सुखदा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन हृद्यन्तस्थौयपत्राणि विद्रोमतिसुरसदां नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी।
Haribol. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, I can read English also.
Yes, Prabhu.
For starting the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Sridhyastev, the other. Sri Krishna, personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, supersoul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the heart to hear his message, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. My by regular attendance in the classes on Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead who is blessed with transcendental songs is established as an irrevocable fact. Thank you, bro.
Haribol. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Okay, now we start the new chapter. Who wants to read first?
Prabhu, I can read.
Yes, Prabhu.
Chapter 2 Remembrance of Lord Krishna. Text 1 Shri Shuka Uvacha Iti Bhagavata Prashta Kshatravartam Priyashrayam Pratvik Prativaktum Jyotesa Autakanthat Smariteswara. Synonyms Sri Shuka Uvacha Sri Shukadeva said, Iti thus Bhagavata, the great devotee, Krishna being asked, Shatra by Vidura, Pratham message, Priya Ashrayam, regarding the dearest, Prativaktum, to reply, not cha, also, Utsehe, became eager, Outkanchat, by excessive anxiety, Smarita, remembrance, Ishvara, the Lord. Translation purport by Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation Sri Shukdev Goswami said, when the great devotee Uddhava was asked by Vidura to speak on the message of the dearest Lord Krishna, Uddhava was unable to answer immediately due to excessive anxiety at the remembrance of the Lord. Text 2. Yaha panchaha hanayo matra pratarshaya yachita तन्नैच्छत् रचयन् यस्य सर्पयं बललीलाय. Synonyms one who Pancha 5 Anaya 4 years old Matra by his mother Pratarasya for breakfast Yachita called for that not Aichit like liked Rachayan playing Yasya whose Sarpayam service Bal-Leelaya childhood. Translation He was one who, even in his childhood at the age of 5 years, was so absorbed in the service of Lord Krishna that when he was called by his mother for morning breakfast, he did not wish to have it. Purport: From his very birth, Uddhava was a natural devotee of Lord Krishna, or a Nityasiddha, a liberated soul. From natural instinct, he used to serve Lord Krishna even in his childhood. He used to play with dolls in the form of Lord Krishna. He would serve the dolls by dressing, feeding, and worshipping them, and thus he was constantly absorbed in the play of transcendental realization. These are the signs of an eternally liberated soul. An eternally liberated soul is a devotee of the Lord, who never forgets him. Human life is meant for reviving one's eternal relationship with the Lord, and all religious injunctions are meant for awakening this dormant instinct of living entity. The sooner this awakening is brought about, the quicker the mission of human life is fulfilled. In a good family of devotees, the child gets the opportunity to serve the Lord in many ways. A soul who is already advanced in devotional service has the opportunity to take birth in such an enlightened family. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 6:41. Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe Yoga Brashto Vijayate. Even the fallen devotee gets the opportunity to take his birth in the family of a well-situated Brahmana or in a rich, well-to-do mercantile family. In both these families, there is a good opportunity to revive one's sense of God consciousness automatically because, particularly in these families, the worship of Lord Krishna is regularly performed, and the child gets the opportunity to imitate the process of worship called archana. The Pancharatriki formula for training persons in devotional service is temple worship, whereby the neophyte gets the opportunity to learn devotional service to the Lord. Maharaj Parikshit also used to play with Krishna dolls in his childhood. In India, the children in good families are still given dolls of the Lord like Rama and Krishna, or sometimes the demigods, so that they may develop the aptitude of to the Lord. By the grace of the Lord, we were given the same opportunity by our parents, and the beginning of our life was based on this principle. Text 3. Sakathayam Sevaya Tasya Kalena Jarasam Gatah Prishtavartam Pratibruyat Bhartu Padava Anusmaran. Synonyms Uddhava Katham how Sevaya by such service Tasya his Kalena in course of time Jarasam invalidity Gatha undergone Prishta asked for Vartam message Pratibruyat just to reply Bhartu of the Lord Padu his lotus feet Anusmaram, remembering. Translation: Uddhava thus served the Lord continually from his childhood, and in his old age that attitude of service never slackened. As soon as he was asked about the message of the Lord, he at once remembered all about him. Purport: Transcendental service to the Lord is not mundane. The service attitude of the devotee gradually increases and never becomes flattened. Generally, in old age, a person is allowed to retirement from mundane service, but in the transcendental service of the Lord, there is no retirement at all. On the contrary, the service attitude increases more and more with the progress of the age. In the transcendental service, there is no satisfaction, there is no situation, and therefore there is no retirement. Materially, when a man becomes tired by rendering service in his physical body, he is allowed retirement. But in the transcendental service, there is no feeling of fatigue because it is spiritual service and is not this bodily plane. Service on the bodily plane dwindles as the body grows older, but the spirit is never old, and therefore on the spiritual plane the service is never tiresome. Uddhava undoubtedly became old, but that does not mean that his spirit became old. His service attitude matured on the transcendental plane, and therefore as soon as he was questioned by Vidura about the Lord Krishna, he at once remembered his Lord by reference to the context and forgot himself on the physical plane. That is the sign of pure devotional service to the Lord. As explained later on, Lakshanam Bhakti Yogasya, etc., in Lord Kapila's instruction to his mother Devoti. Text 4. Samurtayam Muhurtam Muhurtam Abhut Tushnim Krishnagiri Sudaya Prisham Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Nimagna Sadhu Nirvitta. Sa translate synonyms. Sa Uddhava Murtam. For a moment Abhut became Tushnim, dead silent. Krishna angry. Lotus feet of the Lord. Sudaya by the nectar. Vrisham well matured. Tivra in a very strong. Bhakti yoga in devotional service. Nimagna absorbed in. Sadhu good. Nirvritta fully in love. Translation: For a moment he remained dead silent and his body did not move. He became absorbed in the nectar of remembering the Lord's lotus feet in devotional ecstasy, and he appeared to be going increasingly deeper into that ecstasy. Purport: On the inquiry by Vidura about Lord Krishna, Uddhava appeared to be awakened from slumber. He appeared to regret that he had forgotten the lotus feet of the Lord. Thus he again remembered the lotus feet of the Lord and remembered all his transcendental loving service unto him. And by so doing, he felt the same ecstasy that he used to feel in the presence of the Lord. Because the Lord is absolute, there is no difference between his remembrance and his personal presence. Thus Uddhava remained completely silent for a moment. But then he appeared to be going deeper and deeper into ecstasy. Feelings of ecstasy are displayed by highly advanced devotees of the Lord. There are 8 kinds of transcendental changes in the body: tears, shivering of the body, perspiration, restlessness, throbbing, choking of the throat, etc. And all were manifested by Uddhava in the presence of Vidura. Thank you, Prabhuji. So someone can read the next one.
True. Hare Krishna, Praveen Prabhu Tanda Pram, Jai Shri Prabhupada. So who will read, Dheeraj Prabhu or Praveen Prabhu?
Yeah, I can read.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Dandot Pram, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Text
Jai Shri
5. Yes. Canto 3, Chapter 2, Text 5. पुलकोद्भिन्न सर्वांगो मुंचन मिलदृशासु च पूर्णार्थो लक्षितस्तेन स्नेह प्रसर संप्लुतः. Synonyms: Pulaka Udbhinna, bodily changes of transcendental ecstasy. Sarvanga, every part of the body. Munchan, sinkering. Milat, opening. Drisha, by the eyes. Sucha, tears of grief. Purna Artha, complete achievement. Lakshitaha, thus observed. Tena, by Vidura. Sneha, Prasara, extensive love. Sampluta, thoroughly assimilated. Translation: It was so observed by Vidura that Uddhava had all the transcendental bodily changes due to total ecstasy, and he was trying to wipe away tears of separation from his eyes. Thus, Vidura could understand that Uddhava had completely assimilated extensive love for the Lord. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The symptoms of the highest order of devotional life were observed by Vidura, an experienced devotee of the Lord, and he confirmed Uddhava's perfectional stage of love of Godhead. Ecstatic bodily changes are manifested from the spiritual plane and are not artificial expressions developed by practice. There are three different stages of development in devotional service. The first stage is that of following the regulative principles prescribed in the codes of devotional service. It is Vaidhi Bhakti. The second stage is that of assimilation and realization of the steady conditional devotional service. And the last stage is that of ecstasy. Ecstasy symptomized by transcendental bodily expression. The nine different modes of devotional service, such as hearing, chanting, and remembering, are the beginning of the process. By regular hearing of the glories and pastimes of the Lord, the impurities in the student's heart begin to be washed off. The more one is cleansed of impurities, the more one becomes fixed in devotional service. Gradually, the activities takes the form of steadiness, firm faith, taste, realization, and assimilation one after another. These different stages of gradual development increase of love of God to the highest stage, and in the highest stage, there are still more symptoms such as affection, anger, and attachment, gradually rising in exceptional cases to the Mahabhava stage, which is generally not possible for the living entities. All these were manifested by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the personification of love of God. In the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami, the chief disciple of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, these transcendental symptoms displayed by like Uddhava are systematically described. We have written a summary study of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu entitled The Nectar of Devotion, and one may consult this book for more detailed information on the science of devotional service. Text 6. शनकैर्भगवल्लोकान् नृलोकं पुनरागत विमृज्य नेत्रे विधुरं प्रीत्या उद्धव उत्स्मयन्. Synonyms: Shanakai, a little after; Bhagavat, the Lord; Lokat, from the abode; Nirlokam, the planet of the human beings; Puna Agata, coming again; Vimrijja, wiping; Netre, eyes; Vidhuram, onto Vidhura; Pratya, in affection; Aha, said; Uddhava, Uddhava; Utsmayan, by all those remembrances. Translation: The great devotee Uddhava soon came back from the abode of the Lord to the human plane, and wiping his eyes, he awakened his remembrance of the past and spoke to Vidura in a pleasing mode. Purport. When Uddhava was fully absorbed in the transcendental ecstasy of love of God, he actually forgot all about the external world. The pure devotee lives constantly in the abode of the Supreme Lord, even in the present body, which apparently belongs to this world. The pure devotee is not exactly on the bodily plane, since he is absorbed in the transcendental thought of the Supreme. When Uddhava wanted to speak to Vidura, he came down from the abode of the Lord, Dwarka, to the material plane of human beings. Even though a pure devotee is present on this mortal planet, he is here. Uh, he is here in relation to the Lord for engagement in transcendental loving services, and not for any material cause. A living entity can live either on the material plane or in the transcendental abode of the Lord, in accordance with his external condition. The conditional changes of the living entity are explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita in the instructions given to Srila Rupa Goswami by Lord Sri Chaitanya. The living entities all over the universes are enjoying the effects of the respective fruitive results of their own work, life after life. Out of all of them, some may be influenced by the association of pure devotees, and thus get the chance to execute devotional service by attainment of taste. This taste is the seed of devotional service. and one who is fortunate enough to have received such a seed is advised to sow it in the core of his heart. As one cultivates a seed by pouring water to fructify it, similarly, the seed of devotional service sown in the heart of the devotee may be cultured by pouring water in the form of hearing and chanting of the holy name and pastimes of the Lord. The creeper of devotional service, so nourished, gradually grows, and the devotee, acting as a gardener, goes on pouring the water of constant hearing and chanting. The creeper of devotional service gradually grows so high that it passes through the entire material universe and enters into the spiritual sky, growing still higher and higher until it reaches the planet of Goloka Vrindavan. The devotee gardener is in touch with the abode of the Lord even from the material plane by dint of performing devotional service to the Lord simply by hearing and chanting. As a creeper takes shelter of another stronger tree, similarly, the creeper of devotional service, nourished by the devotee, takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord and thus becomes fixed. When the creeper is fixed, then the fruit of the creeper comes into existence, and the gardener who nourished it is able to enjoy this fruit of love, and his life becomes successful. That Uddhava attained this stage is evident from his dealings. He could simultaneously reach the supreme planet and still appear in this world. Haribol. Very nice analogy given there of creeper, resembling it to devotional service. Text 7.
This was interesting
Yeah.
that he was simultaneously at the Vaikunta or Goloka and appeared in this world both at the same time.
Yeah. Text 7. Uddhava Uvacha. Krishna Dyumani Nimloche Girnesh Ajagarenaha Kim Nunha Kulashambhruyam Gata Shrishu Griheshwaham. Synonyms. Uddhava Uvacha. Shri. Synonyms. Shri Uddhava Uvacha. Shri Uddhava said, Krishna Dyumani, the Krishna son, Nimloche having set, Kirneshu being swallowed, Ajagarena by the great snake, ha in the past, Kim what, Nu Eshe, now our Kushalam, welfare, Bruyam, may I say, Gata, gone away, Shrishu Griheshu, in the house, Aham I. Translation. Shri Uddhava said, my dear Vidura, the son of the world, Lord Krishna, has set, and our house has now been swallowed by the great snake of time. What can I say to you about our welfare? Purport. The disappearance of the Krishna son may be explained as follows according to the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Vidura was struck with great sorrow when he got the hint of the annihilation of the great Yadu dynasty as well as his own family, the Kuru dynasty. Uddhava could understand the grief of Vidura, and therefore he first of all wanted to sympathize with him by saying that after the sunset, everyone is in darkness. Since the entire world was immersed in the darkness of grief, neither Vidura nor Uddhava nor anyone else could be happy. Uddhava was as much aggrieved as Vidura, and there was nothing further to be said about their welfare. The comparison of Krishna to the sun is very appropriate. As soon as the sun sets, darkness automatically appears, but the darkness experienced by the common man does not affect the sun itself, either at the time of sunrise or of sunset. Lord Krishna's appearance and disappearance are exactly like that of the sun. He appears and disappears in innumerable universes, and as long as he is present in a particular universe, there is all transcendental light in that universe. But the universe from which he passes away is put into darkness. His pastimes, however, are everlasting. The Lord is always present in some universe, just as the sun is present either in the eastern or the western hemisphere. The sun is always present either in India or in America. But when the sun is present in India, the American land is in darkness. And when the sun is present in America, the Indian hemisphere is in darkness. As the sun appears in the morning and gradually rises up to the meridian and then again sets in one hemisphere while simultaneously rising in the other, so Lord Krishna's disappearance in one universe and the beginning of his different pastimes in another take place simultaneously. As soon as one pastime is finished here, it is manifested in another universe. And thus his Nitya Leela or eternal pastimes are going on without ending. As the sunrise takes place once in 24 hours, similarly the pastimes of Lord Krishna takes place in a universe once in a daytime of Brahma, the account of which is given in the Bhagavad Gita as what's that number? 467 430 CR solar years. But whether the Lord is present, all his different pastimes as described in the revealed scriptures take place at regular intervals. As this as at sunset, the snakes becomes powerful, thieves are encouraged, ghosts become active, the lotus becomes disfigured, and the Chakravaki laments. So, with the disappearance of Lord Krishna, the atheists feel enlivened and the devotees become sorry. Text 8. Durbhagobat lokoyam yadavo nitaramapi yesam vasantu na vidhur harim meena ivodupam. Synonyms: Durbhagah, unfortunate, but certainly, Loka, universe, Ayam, this, Yadava, the Yadu dynasty, Nitaram, more specifically, Api, also, he, those, Samvasanta, living together, Na, did not, Vidhu, understand, Harim, the personality of Godhead, Mina, the fishes, Iva Udupam, like the moon. Translation: This universe, with all its planets, is most unfortunate. And even more unfortunate are the members of the Yadu dynasty because they could not identify Lord Hari as the personality of Godhead any more than the fish could identify the moon. Purport: Uddhava lamented for the unfortunate persons of the world who could not recognize Lord Sri Krishna in spite of seeing all his transcendental godly qualities. From the very beginning of his appearance within the prison bars of King Kamsa up to his Mausha Maushala Leela, although he exhibited his potencies as the personality of Godhead in the six opulences of wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation, the foolish persons of the world could not understand that he was the Supreme Lord. Foolish persons thought him as might have thought him an extraordinary historical figure. Can you put on here? An extraordinary historical figure because they had no intimate touch with the Lord. But more unfortunate were the family members of the Lord, the members of the Yadu dynasty, who were always in company with the Lord but were unable to recognize him as the supreme personality of Godhead. Uddhava lamented his own fortune also, because although he knew Krishna to be the supreme personality of Godhead, he could not properly use the opportunity to render devotional service to the Lord. He regretted everyone's misfortune, including his own. The pure devotee of the Lord thinks himself most unfortunate. That is due to excessive love for the Lord and is one of the transcendental perceptions of viraha, the suffering of separation. It is learned from the revealed scriptures that the moon was born from the milk ocean. There is a milk ocean in the upper planets, and there Lord Vishnu, who controls the heart of every living being as Paramatma, the super soul, resides as the Kshirodakshay Vishnu. Yeah, so Kshira means milk literally in Sanskrit. Kshirodakshay Vishnu.
Yes,
Those
Prabhu.
who do not, yeah, those who do not believe in the existence of the ocean of milk because they have experience only of the salty water in the ocean should know that the world is also called the go, which means the cow. The urine of a cow is salty, and according to Ayurvedic medicine, the cow's urine is very effective in treating patients suffering from liver trouble. Such patients may not have any experience of the cow's milk because milk is never given to liver patients. But the liver patient may know that the cow has milk also, although he has never tasted it. Similarly, men who have experience only of this tiny planet where the saltwater ocean exists may take information from the revealed scriptures that there is also an ocean of milk, although we have never seen it. From this ocean of milk, the moon was born. But the fish in the milk ocean could not recognize that the moon was not another fish and was different from them. The fish took the moon to be one of them, or maybe something illuminating, but nothing more. The unfortunate persons who do not recognize Lord Krishna are like such fish. They take him to be one of them, although a little extraordinarily in opulence, strength, etc. The Bhagavad Gita confirms such foolish persons to be the most unfortunate. Avajananti mam mudha manusham tanumashritam. Bhagavad Gita 9:11.
There is milk fish. I didn't know that there's fish in the milk ocean. I wonder if the milk ocean is cold, or is it hot, or is it same like our ocean?
Text 9. इंगितज्ञा प्रोधा एका एकारामाश्च सात्वता सात्वतां ऋषभः सर्वे भूता वासम् अमंसत. Synonyms: ingitagna, expert in psychic study; puru, praudha, highly experienced; eka, one; aramah, relaxation; cha, also; satvata, devotees or own men; satvatam rishabham, head of the family; sarva, all; bhuta avasam, all pervading; ama amamsata, good thing. Translation: the Yadus were all experienced devotees, learned and expert in psychic study. Over and above this, they were always with the Lord in all kinds of relaxations, and still they were able to know him as one of the supreme who dwells everywhere. I think there is mistake, and still they were unable to know him, right? Because we have read so far that they did not recognize Krishna. I don't know.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
No,
So
look at
far
the synonyms once. Look at the synonyms one. Go back. Expert in psychic study, highly experienced, one; relaxation, also; devotees or own men, head of the family, all pervading, good thing.
so far we have read that they were misfortunate, the Yadu dynasties, because they were unable to recognize Krishna as supreme.
No problem. They cannot recognize him as supreme personality of Godhead. They recognize him as Paramatma.
Oh, here it is given that as one supreme who dwells everywhere.
No, let us
Yeah.
go through the purport. It will be deeply explained here. The
Yeah.
purport.
Okay. So
So
they recognized him as Paramatma.
that
Yeah.
is why we highly need the purport for
Yes,
Yeah.
every.
so they were only able to know him as the Paramatma, nothing else.
Yeah.
From this
Yeah,
other,
that is the meaning.
yes,
Yeah.
Prabhu.
Okay, it is correct then. Purport. In the Vedas, it is said that the Supreme Lord or the Paramatma cannot be understood simply by the strength of one's erudition or power of mental speculation. Nayam atma pravachanena labhyo na medhaya na bahuna shrutena. He can be known only by one who has the mercy of the Lord. The Yadavas were all exceptionally learned and experienced, but in spite of their knowledge, sorry, but in spite of their knowing the Lord as the one who lives in everyone's heart, they could not understand that He is the original personality of Godhead. This lack of knowledge was not due to their insufficient erudition, but it was due to their misfortune. In Vrindavan, however, the Lord was not even known as the Paramatma because the residents of Vrindavan were pure and conventional devotees of the Lord and could only think of him as their object of love. They did not know that he is the personality of Godhead. The Yadus or the residents of Dwarka, however, could know Lord Krishna as Vasudev or the super soul living everywhere, but not as the Supreme Lord. As scholars of the Vedas, they verified the Vedic hymns Eko Deva Sarvabhuta Antaryami and Vrininam Paradevata. The Yadus therefore accepted Lord Krishna as the super soul incarnated in their family and not more than that. So they thought of Lord Krishna only as Paramatma super soul who dwells in
Yes,
everyone's heart, not as supreme personality of Godhead.
yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Text 10. Devasya mayaya sprishtha ye chanyad asad ashrita brahmete tirna tadvakyer atman uptatmanoharo. Synonyms: Devasya, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead; Mayaya, by the influence of external energy; Sprishta, infected; Ye, all those; Cha, and Anyat, others; Asat, illusory; Ashrita, being taken to; Brahmate, be bewildered; Dhi, intelligence; No, not; Tat, that; Vakya, by those words; Atmani, in the Supreme Self; Upta, Uptat, Manha, surrendered souls; Haro, onto the Lord. Translation: under no circumstances can the words of persons who are bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord deviate the intelligence of those who are completely surrendered souls. Purport: Lord Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to all the evidences of the Vedas. He is accepted by all acharyas, including Shripad Shankaracharya. But when he was present in the world, different classes of men accepted him differently, and therefore their calculation of the Lord were also different. Generally, persons who had faith in the revealed scriptures accepted the Lord as he is, and all of them merged into great bewilderment when the Lord disappeared from the world. In the first canto, we have already discussed the lamentation of Arjuna and Yudhishthira, to whom the disappearance of Lord Krishna was almost intolerable up to the end of their lives. The Yadavas were only partially cognizant of the Lord, but they are also glorious because they had the opportunity to associate with the Lord, who acted as the head of their family, and they also rendered the Lord intimate service. The Yadavas and other devotees of the Lord are different from those who wrongly calculated him to be an ordinary human personality. Such persons are certainly bewildered by the illusory energy. They are hellish and are envious of the Supreme Lord. The illusory energy acts very powerfully on them because, in spite of their elevated mundane education, such persons are faithless and are infected by the mentality of atheism. They are always very eager to establish that Lord Krishna was an ordinary man who was killed by a hunter due to his many impious acts in plotting to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and Jarasandha, the demonic kings of the earth. Such persons have no faith in the statements of Bhagavad Gita that the Lord is unaffected by the reactions of work. Namam namamtani dharmani limpanti. According to the atheistic point of view, Lord Krishna's family, the Yadu dynasty, was vanquished due to being cursed by the Brahmanas for the sins committed by Krishna in killing the sons of Dhritarashtra, etc. All these blasphemies do not touch the heart of the devotees of the Lord because they know perfectly well what is what. Their intelligence regarding the Lord is never disturbed, but those who are disturbed by the statements of the Asuras are also condemned. That is what Uddhava meant in this verse. Text 11. Pradarsha tapta tapasam avitriptadrisham nrinam adayantar adhasyastu swabimbam lokalochanam. Synonyms: Pradarsha by exhibiting, atapta without undergoing, tapasam penances, avitripta drisham without fulfillment of vision, drinam of persons, adaya taking, ananta disappearance, adhata performed, ya who, to but, swabimbam his own form, lokalochanam public vision. Translation: Lord Sri Krishna, who manifested his eternal form before the vision of all on the earth, performed his disappearance by removing his form from the sight of those who were unable to see him as he is, due to not executing required penance. Purport. In this verse, the word avitripta drisham is most significant. The conditioned souls in the material world are all trying to satisfy their senses in various ways, but they have failed to do so because it is impossible to be satisfied by such efforts. The example of the fish on land is very appropriate. If one takes a fish from the water and puts it on the land, it cannot be made happy by any amount of offered pleasure. The spirit soul can be happy only in the association of the Supreme Living Being, the personality of Godhead, and nowhere else. The Lord, by his unlimited causeless mercy, has innumerable Vaikuntha planets in the Brahmajyoti sphere of the spiritual world. And in that transcendental world, there is an unlimited arrangement for the unlimited pleasure of living entities. The Lord Himself comes to display His transcendental pastimes, typically represented at Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwarka. He appears just to attract the conditioned souls back to Godhead, back home to the eternal world. But for want of sufficient piety, the onlookers are not attracted by such pastimes of the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that only those who have completely surpassed the way of sinful reaction can engage themselves in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The entire Vedic way of ritualistic performances is to put every conditioned souls on the path of piety. By strict adherence to the prescribed principles for all orders of social life, one can attain the qualities of truthfulness, control of the mind, control of the senses, forbearance, etc., and can be elevated to the plane of rendering pure devotional service to the Lord. Only by such a transcendental vision are one's material hankerings fully satisfied. When the Lord was present, persons who were able to satisfy their material hankerings by seeing Him in true perspective were thus able to go back with Him to His kingdom. But those persons who were unable to see the Lord as He is remained attached to material hankerings and were not able to go back home, back to Godhead. When the Lord passed beyond the vision of all, He did so in His original eternal form. As stated in this verse, the Lord left in His own body. He did not leave His body as is generally misunderstood by the conditioned souls. This statement defeats the false propaganda of the faithless non devotees that the Lord passed away like an ordinary conditioned soul. The Lord appeared in order to release the world from the undue burden of the non believing asuras, and after doing this, he disappeared from the world's eye. Text 2. यन्मर्त्यलीलो परिकं स्वयोग माया बलं दर्शयात गृहीतम् विस्मापनं स्वस्य च सौभगर्धे परम पदम भूषणांगम. Synonyms: yet his eternal form, martya, mortal world, lilo parikam, just suitable for the pastimes, swayoga maya balam, potency of the internal energy, darshayata, for manifestation, grihitam, discovered, vishmapanam, wonderful, swasya, of his own, cha, and sobha, sobhagardhe, of the opulent, param, supreme, padam, ultimate stand, bhushana, ornament, bhushanangam, of the ornaments. Translation: the Lord appeared in the mortal world by his internal potency, Yogamaya. He came in his eternal form, which is just suitable for his pastimes. These pastimes were wonderful for everyone, even for those proud of their own opulence, including the Lord himself, and in his form as the Lord of Vaikuntha. Thus, his Sri Krishna's transcendental body is the ornament of all ornaments. Purport: in conformity with the Vedic hymns, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam, the personality of Godhead is more excellent than all the other living beings within all the universes in the material world. He is the chief of all living entities. No one can surpass him or be equal to him in wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, or renunciation. When Lord Krishna was within this universe, he seemed to be a human being because he appeared in a manner just suitable for his pastimes in the mortal world. He did not appear in human society in his Vaikuntha feature with four hands because that would not have been suitable for his pastimes. But in spite of his appearing as a human being, no one was or is equal to him in any respect in any of the six different opulences. Everyone is more or less proud of his opulence in this world. But when Lord Krishna was in human society, he excelled all his contemporaries within the universe. When the Lord's pastimes are visible to the human eye, they are called prakal, prakrat, and when they are not visible, they are called aprakrit. In fact, the Lord's pastimes never stop. Just as the sun never leaves the sky, the sun is always there. The sun is always in its right orbit in the sky, but it is sometimes visible and sometimes invisible to our limited vision. Similarly, the pastimes of Lord are always current in one universe or another. And when Lord Krishna disappeared from the transcendental abode of Dwarka, it was simply a disappearance from the eyes of the people there. It should not be misunderstood that his transcendental body, which is just suitable for the pastimes in the mortal world, is in any way inferior to his different expansions in the Vaikuntha Lokas. His body manifested in the material world is transcendental per excellence in the sense that his pastimes in the mortal world excel his mercy displayed in the Vaikuntha Lokas. In the Vaikuntha Lokas, the Lord is merciful towards the liberated or Nitya Mukta living entities. But in his pastimes in the mortal world, he is merciful even to the fallen souls who are Nitya Baddha or conditioned forever. The six excellent opulences which he displayed in the mortal world by the agency of his internal potency, Yogamaya, are rare even in the Vaikuntha Lokas. All his pastimes were manifested not by material energy but by his spiritual energy. The excellence of his Rasa Leela at Vrindavan and his householder life with 16,000 wives is wonderful even for Narayan in Vaikuntha, and is certainly so for other living entities within this mortal world. His pastimes are wonderful even for other incarnations of the Lord, such as Sri Rama, Narsimha, and Varaha. His opulence was so super excellent that his pastimes were adored even by the Lord of Vaikuntha, who is not different from the Lord Krishna himself. Hari Bol. If anyone else wants to continue, thank you so much. Hari Krishna, Hari Bol.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Who wants to read? We'll read like 15 minutes more.
I'll read, bro.
Yes, Prabhu, thank you.
Text 13. Yadharma sunor batarajasuye निरीक्ष्य दृक् स्वस्त्या यनं त्रिलोकः कात्स्येन चाद्येह. 1 second. Can you scroll up a little bit? Yeah. Gatam vidhatur arvak srutau kausalam ityamanyata. Synonyms. Yat, which, dharma suno of Maharaj Yudhishthira, bata, certainly, Rajasuye, in the arena of the Rajasuya sacrifice, Nirikshya, by observing Drik, the sight, Swasthya, Swachyanam, pleasing, Trilokaha, the three worlds, Katsne, na, in sum total, Cha, thus, Adya, today, Gha, within the universe, Gatam, surpassed, without of the creator, Brahma, Arvak, recent mankind, Srutau, in the material world, Kaushalam, dexterity, Iti, dexterity, okay, Iti, thus, Amanyata, contemplated. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: all the demigods from the upper, lower, and middle universal planetary systems assembled at the altar of the Rajasuya sacrifice performed by Maharaj Yudhishthira. After seeing the beautiful bodily features of Lord Krishna, they are contemplated that he was the ultimate dexterous creation of Brahma, the creator of human beings. Purport: there was nothing comparable to the bodily features of Lord Krishna when he was present in this world. The most beautiful object in the material world may be compared to the blue lotus flower or the full moon in the sky. But even the lotus flower and the moon were defeated by the beauty of the bodily features of Lord Krishna, and this was certified by the demigods, the most beautiful living creatures in the universe. The demigods thought that Lord Krishna, like themselves, was also created by Lord Brahma, but in fact, Brahma was created by Lord Krishna. It was not within the power of Brahma to create the transcendental beauty of the Supreme Lord. No one is the creator of Krishna, rather, he is the creator of everyone. As he says in the Bhagavad Gita, Aham Sarvasya Prabhu Matta Sarvam Pravartate. Bhagavad Gita 10:8. Text 14. Yasyanuraga पृतहास रासा लीलावलोक प्रतिलब्ध मानाः व्रजस्त्रियो दृग्भिर् अनुप्रवृत्त धियो अवत्स्तुतुः किल कृत्य शेषाः. Synonyms: yasya, whose, anuraga, attachment, pluta, enhanced by, hasa, laughter, rasa, humors, leela, pastimes, avaloka, glancing, pratilabdha, obtained therefore, manaha, anguished, vraja striya, damsels of Vraja, Trigbihi, with the eyes, Anupravritta, following, Dhiyaha, by intelligence, Avatsuhu, sat silently, Kila, indeed, Kritya Seshaha, without finishing household duties. Translation: the damsels of Vraja, after pastimes of laughter, humor, and exchanges of glances, were anguished when Krishna left them. They used to follow him with their eyes, and thus they sat down with stunned intelligence and could not finish their household duties. Purport: in his boyhood at Vrindavana, Lord Krishna was notorious as a teasing friend in transcendental love to all the girls his age. To all the girls of his age, maybe. His love for them was so intense that there is no comparison to that ecstasy, and the damsels of Raja were so much attached to him that their affection excelled that of the great demigods like Brahma and Shiva. Lord Krishna finally admitted his defeat before the transcendental affection of the gopis and declared that he was unable to repay them for their unalloyed affection. Although the gopis were seemingly anguished by the Lord's teasing behavior, when Krishna would leave them, they could not tolerate the separation and used to follow him with their eyes and minds. They were so stunned by the situation that they could not finish their household duties. No one could excel him even in the dealing of love exchanged between boys and girls. It is said in the revealed scriptures that Lord Krishna personally never goes beyond the boundary of Vrindavana. He remains there eternally because of the transcendental love of the inhabitants. Thus, even though he is not visible at present, he is not away from Vrindavana for a moment. Text 15. Swasanta rupe svitarih swarupair abhyardhyamanesva anukampitatma paravaresho mahad hamsa yukto ह्यजो api jato bhagavan yathagnihi. Synonyms. Swasanta rupeshu. Unto the peaceful devotees of the Lord, itarai, others non-devotees, swarupai, according to their own modes of nature, abhyadhyamaneshu, being harassed by, anukampita atma, the all compassionate Lord, paravara, spiritual and material, Ishaha, controller, Mahat Amsa Yukta, accompanied by the plenary portion of Mahatattva. He certainly Ajaha, the unborn, Api, although Jataha, be born, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Yatha, as if Agnihi, the fire. Translation: the personality of Godhead, the all compassionate controller of both the spiritual and material creations, is unborn, but when there is friction between his peaceful devotees and persons who are in the material modes of nature, he takes birth just like fire, accompanied by the Mahatattva. Purport: the devotees of the Lord are by nature peaceful because they have no material hankering. A liberated soul has no hankering and therefore he has no lamentation. One who wants to possess also laments when he loses his possession. Devotees have no hankering for material possessions and no hankering for spiritual salvation. They are situated in the transcendental loving service of the Lord as a matter of duty, and they do not mind where they are or how they have to act. Karmis, jnanis, and yogis all hanker to possess some material or spiritual assets. Karmis want material possessions, jnanis and yogis want spiritual possessions, but devotees do not want any material or spiritual assets. They want only to serve the Lord anywhere in the material or spiritual worlds that the Lord desires, and the Lord is actual always specifically compassionate towards such devotees. The karmis, jnanis, and yogis have their particular mentalities in the modes of nature, and therefore they are called itara or non-devotees. These itaras, including even the yogis, sometimes harass the devotees of the Lord. Durvasa Muni, a great yogi, harassed Maharaj Ambarisha because the latter was a great devotee of the Lord. And the great Karmi and Jnani Hiranyakashipu even harassed his own Vaishnava son Prahlad Maharaj. There are many instances of such harassment of the peaceful devotees of the Lord by the Itaras. When such friction takes place, the Lord, out of his great compassion towards his pure devotees, appears in person, accompanied by his plenary portions controlling the Mahatattva. The Lord is everywhere, both in the material and spiritual domains. and he appears for the sake of his devotees when there is friction between his devotee and the non-devotee. As electricity is generated by friction of matter anywhere and everywhere, similarly the Lord, being all-pervading, appears because of the friction of devotees and non-devotees. When Lord Krishna appears on a mission, all his planetary portions accompany him. When he appeared as the son of Vasudeva, there were differences of opinions about his incarnation. Some said he is the supreme personality of Godhead. Some said he is an incarnation of Narayana. And others said he is the incarnation of Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu. But actually, he is the original personality of Godhead, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, and Narayana, the Purushas, and all other incarnations accompany him to function as different parts of his pastimes. Mahat Amsa Yuktaha indicates that he is accompanied by the Purushas who create the Mahat Tattvas. It is confirmed in the Vedic hymns Mahantam Vibhum Atmanam. Lord Krishna appeared just like electricity when there was friction between Kamsa and Vasudeva and Ugrasena. Vasudeva and Ugrasena were the Lord's devotees, and Kamsa, a representative of the Karmis and Jnanis, was a non-devotee. Krishna, as he is compared to the sun. He first appeared from the ocean of the womb of Devaki, and gradually he satisfied the inhabitants of the places surrounding Mathura, just as the sun enlivens the lotus flower in the morning. Gradually rising up to the meridian of Dwarakam, the Lord set like the sun, placing everything in darkness as described by Uddhava. Text 16. Mam खेदयत्य खेदयति एतद् अजस्य जन्म विडम्बनं यद् वसुदेव गेहे व्रजे च वासो अरिभयाद् इव स्वयं पुराद् व्यवात्सीद् यद् अनंत वीर्यः. Synonyms: Mam, to me. Khedayati, gives me distress. Etat, this. Ajasya, of the unborn. Janma, birth. Vidambanam, bewildering. Yat, that. Vasudeva Gehe, in the home of Vasudeva. Vraje, in Vrindavana. Cha, also. Vasaha, inhabitation. Ari, enemy. Bhayat, because of fear. Iva, as if. Swayam, himself. Purat, from Mathura Puri. Yavatsit, fled. Yat, one who is Ananta Viryaha, unlimitedly powerful. Translation: when I think of Lord Krishna, how he was born in the prison house of Vasudeva, although he is unborn, how he went away from his father's protection to Vraja and lived there incognito out of fear of the enemy, and how, although he is unlimitedly powerful, he fled from Mathura in fear. All these bewildering incidences give me distress. Purport: because Lord Sri Krishna is the original person from whom everything and everyone has emanated. Aham sarvasya prabhavaha. Bhagavad Gita 10:8. Janmadhyasya yatha. What is Vishnu Sahasra? What is it? 1.12.
Not sure, Prabhu.
Is it VS? What is Brahma Samhita? BS or VS? Okay, nothing can be equal to or
Vedant Sutra, Prabhu.
Vedanta Sutra. Correct. You are right. You are absolutely right. Yes, Vedanta Sutra 112. Nothing can be equal to or greater than him. The Lord is supremely perfect, and whenever he enacts his transcendental pastimes as a son, a rival, or an object of enmity, he plays the part so perfectly that even pure devotees like Uddhava are bewildered. For example, Uddhava knew perfectly well that Lord Sri Krishna is eternally existent and can neither die nor disappear for good. Yet he lamented for Lord Krishna. All these events are perfect arrangements to give protection to his supreme glories. It is for enjoyment's sake. When a father plays with his little son and the father lays down on the floor as if defeated by the son, it is just to give the little son pleasure and nothing more. Because the Lord is all powerful, it is possible for him to adjust opposites such as birth and birth, power and defeat, fear and fearlessness, etc. A pure devotee knows very well how it is possible for the Lord to adjust opposite things, but he laments for the non devotees who, not knowing the supreme glories of the Lord, think of him as imaginary simply because there are so many apparently contradictory statements in the scriptures. Factually, there is nothing contradictory, but everything is possible when we understand the Lord as the Lord and not as one of us with all our imperfection.
Prabhu, okay, last verse.
Text 17. Dunoti chetah smarato mamaidattad yad aha padav abhivyandya pitroh tatamba kamsad uru sankirtanam sankitanam प्रसीदतं नो अकृत निष्कृतानां synonyms. Dunoti, it gives me pain. Chetaha, heart. Smarataha, while thinking of mama, my, etat, his, this. Yet, as much as aha said, padav, feet, abhivyandya, worshipping, pitro of the parents, tata, my dear father, amba, my dear mother, kamsat, out of kamsas, uru, great, sankitanam, of those who are afraid, prasidatam, be pleased with naha, our, akrita, not executed, nishkritinam, duties to serve you. Translation: Lord Krishna begged pardon from his parents for their, Krishna's and Balrama's, inability to serve their feet due to being away from home because of great fear of Kamsa. He said, O mother, O father, please excuse us for this inability. All this behavior of the Lord gives me pain at heart. Purport. It appears that Lord Krishna and Baladeva were both very greatly afraid of Kamsa and therefore they had to hide themselves. But if Lord Krishna and Baladeva are the supreme personality of Godhead, how was it possible that they were afraid of Kamsa? Is there any contradiction in such statements? Vasudeva, due to his great appreciation for Krishna, wanted to give him protection. He never thought that Krishna was the Supreme Lord and could protect himself. He thought of Krishna as his son. Because Vasudeva was a great devotee of the Lord, he did not like to think that Krishna might be killed like his other children. Morally, Vasudeva was bound to deliver Krishna to the hands of Kamsa because he had promised to turn over all his children. But out of his great love of Krishna, he broke his promise, and the Lord was very pleased with Vasudeva for his transcendental mentality. He did not want to disturb the intense affection of Vasudeva, and thus he agreed to be carried by his father to the house of Nanda and Yashoda. And just to test the intense love of Vasudeva, Lord Krishna fell down in the waters of the Yamuna while his father was crossing the river. Vasudeva became mad after his child as he tried to recover him in the midst of the rising river. These are all glorified pastimes of the Lord, and there is no contradiction in such manifestations. Since Krishna is the Supreme Lord, he was never afraid of Kamsa, but to please his father, he agreed to be so. And the most brilliant part of his supreme character was that he begged pardon from his parents for being unable to serve their feet while absent from home because of fear of Kamsa. The Lord, whose lotus feet are worshipped by demigods like Brahma and Shiva, wanted to worship the feet of Vasudeva. Such instruction by the Lord to the world is quite appropriate. Even if one is the Supreme Lord, one must serve his parents. A son is indebted to his parents in so many ways, and it is the duty of the son to serve his parents, however great the son may be. Indirectly, Krishna wanted to teach the atheists who do not accept the supreme fatherhood of God, and they may learn from this action how much the Supreme Father has to be respected. Uddhava was simply struck with wonder by such glorious behavior of the Lord, and he was very sorry that he was unable to go with him. Text 18. Kova Amshan Saroja Renum Vismartum Ishita Pumam Vijigran यो विस्फुरद् भ्रू विटपेन भूमेर्भारं कृतान्तेन तिरश्चकार. Synonyms kaha, who else, va, either, amshya, the Lord's, amushya, the Lord's, angry, feet, saroja renum, dust of the lotus, vismartum, forgetting, ishita, may be able, Oman, person, Vijigranam, Vijigran, smelling, Yaha, one who, Vispurat, expanding, Bhru Vitapena, by the leaves of the eyebrows, Bhume of the earth, Bharam, burden, Krita, Antena, by death blows, by death blows. Tirashchakara, executed. Translation: who, after smelling the dust of his lotus feet even once, could ever forget it? Simply by expanding the leaves of his eyebrows, Krishna has given the death blow to those who were burdening the earth. Purport: Lord Krishna cannot be accepted as one of the human beings, even though he played the role of an obedient son. His actions were so extraordinary that by the simple raising of his eyebrows, he could deliver death blows to those who were burdening the earth.
Okay, this is last one.
Next 19. दृष्टा भवद्भिर्ननु राजसूये चैद्यस्य कृष्णं द्विषतोऽपि सिद्धिः यां योगिनः संस्पृहयन्ति सम्यग् योगेन कस्तद् viraham saheta. Synonyms: drishta, it has been seen, bhavadbihi, by your good self, nanu, of course, rajasuye, in the assembly of the rajasuya sacrifice performed by Maharaja Yudhishthira, chaidyasya, of the king of Chedi, Shishupala, krishnam, unto Krishna, Dvishataha, envying, api, in spite of, siddhi, success, yam, which, yoginaha, the yogis, sansprhayanti, verily desire, samyak, fully, yogena, by performance of yoga, kaha, who, tat, his, viraham, separation, saheta, can tolerate. Translation: you have personally seen how the king of Chedi, Shishupala, achieved success in yoga practice, although he hated Lord Krishna. Even the actual yogis aspire after such success with great interest by performance of their various practices. Purport: Lord Krishna's success was exhibited in the great assembly of Maharaj Yudhishthira. He was merciful even to his enemy, the king of Chedi, who always tried to be an envious rival of the Lord. Because it is not possible to be a bona fide rival of the Lord, the king of Chedi was extremely malicious towards Lord Krishna. In this, he was like many other asuras such as Kamsa and Jarasandha. In the open assembly of the Rajasuya sacrifice performed by Maharaj Yudhishthira, Shishupala insulted Lord Krishna and he was finally killed by the Lord. But it was seen by everyone in the assembly that a light flashed out of the body of the king of Chedi and merged into the body of Lord Krishna. This means that the Chedi Raja achieved the salvation of attaining oneself with the Supreme, which is a perfection most desired by the jnanis and yogis, and for which they execute their different types of transcendental activities. It is a fact that persons who are trying to understand the supreme truth by their personal endeavors of mental speculation or mystic powers of yoga achieve the same goal as others who are personally killed by the Lord. Both achieve the salvation of merging in the Brahmajyoti rays of the transcendental body of the Lord. The Lord was merciful even to his enemy, and the success of King of Chedi was observed by everyone who was present in the assembly. Vidura was also present there, and therefore Uddhava referred the instant to his memory.
Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Chedi is the name of a kingdom, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, seems like.
Yeah, Pranjal Prabhu asked what Cheji is.
Ah, okay.
Just like Hastinapura and other kingdoms as well.
So what happened to King Chedi?
Sisbala was killed by Lord Krishna in the assembly of that Rajasuya Yajna conducted by Maharaj Yudhishthira.
Hmm.
There was a boon given to Sisbala's mother by Lord Krishna that Lord Krishna would not kill him until 10 offenses performed by Chedi, that Sisupala. So in that
In
assembly,
100, Prabhu.
Oh,
100.
so Shishupala is king of Chedi of now
Yes,
understood.
yes. So
I think 100.
yes, it is 100, bro. Yes, 100. So in that assembly of that Rasu Yajna, Sisupala completed all those 100 offenses and finally was killed by Lord Krishna in the same assembly when everyone was looking at the instant.
Yes, Prabhu.
And then a light from his body, Sisupala's body, came out and merged into the body of Lord Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Now I understood.
Everyone was seeing, including Bhishma, Yudhishthira, Arjuna, everyone. So one of them was Uddhava as well at the time.
So, Prabhu, I want to get some essence today. What you have read.
The final 5 or 6 verses talk about mostly Lord Krishna. Okay, so even including most of the highly exalted devotees, including Uddhava, were bewildered by his pastimes. Okay, so he just ran away from Dwarka out of fear of Jarasandha and other activities. Uh, so Uddhava was saying that uh, he was even bewildered by those pastimes of the Lord. So in the same sense, Lord wanted to serve his parents as well. Okay, but he could not do it, including Baladeva. They were unable to perform their duty of serving their parents because they were away from Mathura out of fear of Kamsa. Okay, so that was kind of a distress to Uddhava as well. Because even though Lord was the supreme personality of Godhead, he acted like an ordinary person.
Yes, bro.
And in one of the verses, demigods in the assembly of the Rajasuya Yajna thought that Lord Krishna looked like Brahma. So uh, Brahma created Lord Krishna. But actually, Lord Brahma was created by Lord Krishna, including all other living entities as well, including demigods, Brahma, and Yudhishthira, Arjuna, Bhishma, everyone. So, but in fact, Lord Krishna was the cause of creation of all the entire universes, including the living entities. But during that Rajasuya Yajna time, demigods looking at Krishna out of his beauty, they thought that he was created by Brahma. That was one of the confusing items as well for everyone in that assembly.
So thank you, guys. So
Thank you,
Dheeraj
bro.
Prabhu, you can also repeat something. Dheeraj Prabhu, are you there? Okay, Prabhu.
What are the initial verses talking about?
There was the milk fish.
Rishikesh Prabhu? Yes, Prabhu, he is in some meeting. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. In the beginning, Uddhava was like he was like crying almost. Yes, Prabhu. He was crying. Okay, who wants to start the Sikshastakam?
చేతో దర్పణమార్జనం భవమహా దావాగ్ని నిర్వాపణం శ్రేయస్కైరవ చంద్రికా వితరణం విద్యావధూ జీవనం ఆనందాంబుదివర్ధనం ప్రతిపదం పూర్ణామృతాస్వాదనం సర్వాత్మ స్నపనం పరం విజేతే శ్రీకృష్ణ సంకీర్తనం.
नाम्नामकारि बहुधानि च सर्वशक्तिस्तत्रार्पितानि अमिता स्मरणेन कालाय तादृशी तव कृपा भगवन्ममापि दुर्दैवमीदृशमिहा जानिनानुरागः.
तृणादपि सुनिश्चयेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना मानिना मानदेन कीर्तनीया सदा हरि.
नदनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनि ईश्वरे भवताद्भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि.
नन्दतनुजा किङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजास्थिततूले सदृशं विचिन्तय.
नयनं गडादश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदा हृदया गिरा पुलकेर्निचितं वपु कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति.
युगायितं निमीषेण चक्षुषा प्राविशायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेन्न मे.
अश्लिष्य वा पादरतां पिनष्टु मामदर्शनान् मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विरातातुलं पतो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by chanting your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
Oh Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. At somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
Oh Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly in his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.
Hari Bol, Shri Siksastakam ki jai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Paujanma Karayadi Shravana Kirtan Tabutana Paya Krishna Pada Premadan. If one is infested with the 10 offenses in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy name for many birds, he will not get the love of God. That is the ultimate goal of this chanting. The 10 offenses against the holy name are as follows. The first offense is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
Second offense is to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu.
Third offense, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master.
Fourth offense is to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version.
Fifth offense, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination.
Sixth offense is to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord.
Seventh offense, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord.
Eighth offense, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, Karma Kanta.
Ninth offense is to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name.
Tenth offense, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting.
Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success of Krishna Prema.
Let us offer humble, respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone just like desire trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
Jai.
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
Jai.
ताय गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल।
Hari Hari Bol.